Self-awareness is very, very, very critical, but it's missing a huge point. And the point is that you can be entirely self-aware of yourself, but you might not be successful. And why would that be? Okay. The point that is missing with respect to self-awareness is that it leaves it just a little bit short. It's like you have 10 yards to score a touchdown in football, and you go 9 yards and can't get past to the end zone to get the 6 points, to get on the scoreboard. And that last yard is what I would call self-focus, okay? The idea being is that you can be aware of many things at once. You can be aware of 100 things at once, but it doesn't matter if you can't focus on the one thing that matters at that time. Bam. Yo, this is the End-to-End podcast, the alpha to the omega, the beginning to the end, talking about life, prosperity, success, entrepreneurship, drive, and offering you morsels in this all-you-can-eat buffet called life. I am your host, Dr. Yun Win. And as I like to start every podcast with an expression of gratitude, I am thankful to you. Thank you to all my listeners out there who have commented, liked, followed, and especially shared this podcast. It's been just an overwhelming response in the year plus that we've been doing this weekly. Haven't missed a week yet, but I want to say thank you to you all because we cannot grow this show without you. No sponsors, no outside revenue. This is done on my dime, my time. And so the only way we can reach our mission, which is inspiring billions of people across this planet, is through you and your sharing of this podcast. So as I like to say, if your knowledge swole, share the show. That's how we grow. It's a value exchange. If you found any value in this at all, learned something, laughed, whatever, please do share the show. This particular episode is going to be pretty brief because I'm just loaded up my schedule. Just flew into the studio to get something done real quick. But I cannot be more ecstatic for the launch of our crypto token, Legacy X token. It's been launched a little bit over a week, and we've had returns over 800% in just a week. It's just crazy. It's just unfathomable, wildly successful. It's not a sponsorship, not a promotion, just only to say that our token launch has gone really well, and so it's kind of limiting my time today on recording this podcast. But it brings me to a very important point about success, entrepreneurship, the pathway, the type of work it takes to be successful. Over the past several years, there's been a lot of motivational speakers, a lot of top books, etc., raising the idea of self-awareness, which is important. It's very critical to understand yourself in your place of your environment, whether it be how you feel about something, the trajectory of your path, having a self-awareness in environments with other people, how to interact with other people, how to interact within the scope of a project, whatever the case may be. Self-awareness is very, very, very critical, but it's missing a huge point. And the point is that you can be entirely self-aware of yourself, but you might not be successful. And why would that be? Okay? The point that is missing with respect to self-awareness is that it leaves it just a little bit short. It's like you have 10 yards to score a touchdown in football, and you go 9 yards and can't get past to the end zone to get the 6 points, to get on the scoreboard. And that last yard is what I would call self-focus. Okay? The idea being is that you can be aware of many things at once. You can be aware of 100 things at once. But it doesn't matter if you can't focus on the one thing that matters at that time. Okay? Just like a pencil, just like a pen, it can only draw where that point is, where that focal point is. Okay? And that's you. That's your life. That's your mentality. So you could be self-aware. I can be aware of this table, the lights, where I'm at, what I'm about to say. But if I don't focus on what I'm about to say, which is the main crux of this podcast, then all that awareness is ineffective, right? It's like the idea of multitasking, which is total BS. Multitasking is ultimately, I think it boils down to, is seemingly trying to be important, doing as much things as you possibly can do at one time, which makes no sense to me, because you can really, really only focus on one thing at a time. It's like driving, right? You're driving in your car, right? You're focused on the speed. You're focused on the other vehicles, or I should step back. You're aware of your speed. You're aware of other drivers. You're aware of the road. You're aware of the speed limit. You're aware of your positioning. You're aware of the AC. You're aware of the radio, the volume, aware of your passengers if you have anything. But all of that awareness doesn't matter if you don't do what? Focus on where you're driving. See, you only have one point of focus. In fact, your mind can only focus on one thing at a time. So you can be aware of thousands of things, but you can only focus on one thing. And that's where people fall short, because they don't focus on anything at all. They're focusing on their awareness rather than focusing on what needs to get done. Okay? It's like in when I was going through medical school training in the emergency room. Things are going on all over the place. People dying, screaming, injuries, gunshot wounds. This was in Dallas's county hospital. People with heart attacks, just chaos. And you're aware of this the whole time. The whole time you're aware of everything. But you can only focus on one thing as a clinician, which is the patient right in front of you and what they need to get better. Because if you don't focus on that, then the most important thing at the time, which is that patient, can suffer. And that's a reflection on you as the clinician. So when I say people don't have that self-focus, or people lack that self-focus, that is one of the main reasons why they aren't successful. Because they're saying, yeah, I do my to-do list, I get all these things, I prioritize, but then constantly throughout the day, they're just playing the game of what they are aware of versus what needs to get done immediately, next, with precision. So yes, self-awareness is important. Self-awareness is how you feel, how you think, how you act in relation to your environment, but without focal attention on the purpose, on what is priority, on what needs to get done. Your awareness of self in that self-focus, without that, nothing gets done anyways. You'll feel like you've accomplished a lot by just being busy, right? Being aware of things, just being busy, multitasking. But in the end, it's about results. And when you measure it, what did you actually focus on as a priority to get done, to move the needle, to get across the end zone and score those points? You see, just like that, the analogy with Legacy X, the token. That project, really, as much as I've been thinking about it for years, literally, aware of it, it kept in my mind, I got to do this, I got to do that. I'm just aware of the things and the steps that I needed to get done. It wasn't until I really focused on it and the individual steps that I needed to take did the project actually take off. And the project took off in like 2 months. And here we are, plus 800%. I've got friends and family, and again, this is not a solicitation for investment, but I've got friends that put in, X amount of dollars, and now it's 8 times X. Do the math in a week. So it wasn't until I really dialed in the focus, that self-focus, meaning like, okay, I'm aware of all these things. I'm aware of all the people I need to call, and you're aware of all the content and context that I need to draft and teams that I need to work with and maneuver with. But it wasn't until I focused on the next immediate direct action step did things start progressing. And again, in a couple months, here we are with one of the hottest crypto tokens coming out at the precise time that all these trillion-dollar money managers are looking to get into crypto. So how did that happen? Well, again, it's about that self-focus. And it's also about, 2 podcasts ago, vibrating in the right alignment. to create the future that you want. Okay? So, self-awareness, yes, absolutely critically important. But self-focus, a new concept, self-focus is that little last piece that you need. It's like that last groove in the key to unlock the future that you want. Very brief podcast. Just wanted to bring that up in my mind at the time. We're just running and going. I got a lot of travel related to Legacy X and a bunch of things, but self-focus. So there will be future podcasts elaborating on that a little bit more, but introducing the concept of self-focus along with self-awareness to unlock the future of success for you. Please do like, comment, share the show. If your knowledge swell, share the show. If your self-focus grew or you learned about it, please do share the show. Again, thankful, grateful for all the audience, and I look forward to bringing you a more lengthy episode and guests in the End to End podcast coming soon.
What's up?